Hey, welcome. It's Mike Hobbs, and you've joined me here on Mortgage Madness. I'm with Mad Dog Mortgage Team. I go by Mad Dog Mike Hobbs, and I'm dogged and I'm experienced, meaning I'm tenacious. And I like to get things done. I like to take on the challenging transactions, help people move into their homes. We're going to talk about stories coming up in the next few weeks about some of the most interesting things that I've done in my 38-year career in helping people buy homes, get their financing, and the things we have to do to overcome guidelines and to meet guidelines and what have you. So we're going to talk about it. Today we're talking about rates, lower rates. How do you make buying a home affordable today with rates being so high? So the way we do this is talk about a concept. The concept is it's not what you pay for the home, it's how you pay for the home. Because the financing is over such a long period of time that what's important is the interest rate. The interest rate drives the payment down, either up or down. So if it's a higher interest rate, payment's going to be a lot higher. If it's lower interest, it's going to be a lot lower, but exponentially greater than what you paid for the home. So we're going to talk about specifics. We're going to talk about $20,000 and what that does. And how do you get it, you say? Because you're going to go, hey, I don't have 20 grand. I get it. We're barely getting into homes, first time buyers, what have you, second time, doesn't matter. But $20,000 is a lot. But how do you get it? And how do you make it work for you so that it doesn't cost you anything and it actually changes your payments significantly? So we're going to be talking about that as we go through. So it's a concept that works in most markets when we have trailing values, meaning that when prices are on their way up, it's more difficult to do. Oh, and by the way, did you check out there it is. It's backwards when I'm thinking about it. There's the drum kit over there. Got my office together finally. Anybody's watched me in the past, I've been working from my home office for about 5 months, and we finally got our office here on Sherman Avenue in Coeur d'Alene, 611 East Sherman. So if you ever walk by and you see me there in the window banging away on the drums, yeah, it's my release, and I just feel better when I'm playing drums. So I'm an old drummer. But the concept is it's not what you pay for the house, but how you pay for it. And so what happens is we in our culture and our society defines what a good value is by what you pay for something. If you paid, $20 for a pair of sunglasses and somebody else paid $19, then the person that paid $19 for the pair of sunglasses is going to go, hey, I got a better deal. Same pair of sunglasses, but I got them more inexpensive. The issue is it's not what you paid for at a house, it's how you paid for it. The financing changed that significantly. So we're going to go to a chart here. I'm going to pull this up. Give me a second to find it. I was going to put my glasses on, but I broke them this weekend. I was putting up a barn at the property. I had them in my pocket, and I was lifting 4x4s and shoveling and doing all sorts of crazy things. And of course, I broke them in my pocket. So they sit weird and cattywampus on my face. I'm not going to do that to you as long as I can stand it here. And I'll have those fixed next week, at least on Friday. So here's what we're talking about. So this is a 30-year at asking price. So again, let's say we're talking about a $500,000 house here. So this is a $500,000 sales price to give you perspective. So again, agents, if you're listening, and I hope you are, it's all about the negotiating of getting that other people's money, financing this money, letting the consumer, the buyer, finance this money so they can make a significant impact in their payment. And so we're closing things in the 4.75, 5.25. And again, I'm not telling you can get that. That's not for everybody. That's a combination to get in that range is a combination of using other people's money to buy down the interest rate. So we're talking about permanent buy downs, not temporary buy downs, because you'll see what a temporary buy down does. Temporary buy down is here. You can look at that on the screen. Those of you on Spotify, it's the third column over, and it's showing what that is compared to the other scenarios. So the other scenario would be a permanent buy down, far right. The second from the right would be that temporary buy down, and then price reduction. So again, going back to the sunglasses, $20 or 19, which is a better deal for the sunglasses, 19. This is the argument here with that second column from the left, which says price reduction at 20 grand on a $500,000 home would theoretically save you $129 a month than if you didn't get the price reduction. But with a trailing values, meaning values are higher than what the prices or the homes are selling for, appraisals are, when we get an appraisal, that's a previous set of sales. And because we took the ramp up over 3 years ago, we took this big ramp up in most markets, not all markets, but we took that big ramp up, and then we're starting to come back down. What happens is the appraisers are looking at the solds behind you when you're buying that home, and those are going to be higher relative to what you're paying for now in most cases. So that means our appraisals are going to come in. So a $500,000 house, it would be better for you to not buy it at 500 because you're only going to save 129 a month in today's rates. Whereas if you were to keep it at the 520, so don't get it for 500, get it for 520, and then take that $20,000 and put that into a permanent buy down. That's going to save you $451 a month. $451 a month. Sure, the temporary buy down is $591, called $600 versus $450, but that disappears in 2 years. And then you're right back up to the maximum, the 30-year fixed rate, for example, at no input from either price reduction or buy down. It disappears, you go back to normal rates or current market rates. So the permanent saves you money on the long run, the short run, you name it. So I did actuaries on this over the number of years. Let's see what that was. Let me see if this is one. Yeah, savings over 60 months. So it shows over 60 months that the permanent buy down saves you $32,217, where the temporary only saves you $12,000, and it's even less when you go to the price reduction over the 5 years. So again, we want to go to this scenario where we're looking at monthly payment difference because it's all about how you paid for it, not what you paid for it. So agents, if you're listening, one of the negotiating tips and tricks that I use in this is, told you my glasses are crooked there. I just turned the chart off and they're broken. See, broken glasses. And what I do is when I talk to and mentor agents on this is negotiate the best deal you can get for your client. So buyers, listen to this. Have your agent negotiate the best deal. Forget about the buy down. Forget about other people's money. Forget about that. Just go in and get it done. So let's say you've got a listed for 525, or let's even say it's listed for 520, and you come in there and you get it negotiated down to 500. At that moment, where the agent, you know that listing agent's clients are going to accept that offer. Go ahead and say, hang on a minute. Let's take it back to 520 and let's get 20,000 back from your clients, the seller, to give us credit for closing costs and buy down for discount points. And you can do that. So you haven't confused the seller with these multiple issues of what's my net going to look like with the price, because that's all they're looking at, and then factoring in giving money back and what's that do to my net. And it's confusing. You're throwing in a couple of different dynamics into what a seller is trying to figure out. What's my net when they're trying to figure out what their net is. So take one thing at a time, get the best price negotiated, and then come back. And I do this all the time. And I mentor on this stuff all the time. It's a technique. And then come back and say, let's take it to 520, give 20 back. You don't pay the commission on that, so it's not going to cost the seller anymore. So agents are going to pay that difference, and we know that's written in the contracts. But that $20,000 is going to significantly reduce the monthly payment for your buyer. So buyers, you can drop your payment down into those ranges I was talking about earlier, significantly lower your while still buying the home at market price. So we're using other people's money, seller credits, to buy down the rate permanently. Now, if you're wishful thinking, and I heard today from a friend of mine, a colleague in the industry, that Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac at a convention, they're talking about by the end of the year, we may see rates down in the mid sixes. We may see rates by the end of next year, 2024, so a year and a half from now, down in the high fives. So they're projecting, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, secondary market investors are projecting that we're not going to see these 3% ranges. Now, I've said that we could see that, 3 3/4, mid fours, low fours, within the next 2 to 3 years. Administration changes, we get inflation under control, that could occur. But holding out for that and making a decision on whether you buy now or not, or you take a temporary, or you don't take the buy down now because you're going to hold out and then refinance it sometime in the future. Don't count on that. Get your best rate that you can now. Make your money work for you. Let other people's money, OPM, work for you to get your payment down as low as you can possibly get it. So again, negotiate the best deal, come back and ask for it to go up 20 grand, and then get that as a seller credit. The net effect to the seller is zero because they write that off anyway. So it's not capital gains if that's a factor of the seller, and it doesn't play a role in that. So it has no effect on a seller by giving you that money back, but it has a significant effect on you. Last time, there it is. Look at the numbers. They're huge. Permanent buy down, $451. I think I got to put my glasses on again. Yeah, $451 versus simply just keeping the price down. For example, $500 versus $520. It's only $129. I don't know. What do you want? $129 a month in your pocket or $451 a month in your pocket? Pretty easy, right? Anyway, that's my message today. You've been listening to Mortgage Madness with Mad Dog Mike Hobbs, powered by the Mad Dog, or it's the Mad Dog Mortgage Team. It's powered by Loan Depot. I'm a loan officer at Loan Depot, and we're the largest non-bank in the country right now. And love working here, and we do some great things. And I'll tell you some stories about the things we can do that I don't think anybody else can do. In my 38 years of doing this, I haven't seen it. One example is closing without a VA appraisal being as is, meaning the inspection wasn't signed off by the appraiser, but we still closed. And that's one I'll tell you next time. So anyway, have a great rest of the week. It's Wednesday. Have a great rest of the week. Enjoy it. Again, Mad Dog Mike Hobbs. You can reach me at MikeHobbs1.com, Mike Hobbs, the numeral 1.com. And you can listen to and find us on It's Mortgage Madness.com. You can find us there. It's itsmortgagemadness.com. And there's a bunch of other sites. You can find me on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook, and a couple of three, I think, on Facebook. But yeah, check me out. If you have any questions, love to hear from you. But it's been a pleasure talking to you today about other people's money and how you can actually save quite a bit of money if you put it to use in the right way. So remember, low interest rates, low payments are still available if you have an agent that can negotiate that for you and is willing to do that work, put that work in to do so. So again, it's Mortgage Management, listening to Mike Hobbs, and we will see you next time. Thank you.